Hey everyone, Steven here, autistic YouTuber, and welcome to Toastamac. Anxiety can be very challenging to deal with throughout our lives. At times, it can seemingly pop up out of nowhere and suddenly make everything much harder for us. And for autistic people, even more so. Of course, I should know this all too well, considering the fact that I have to deal with this all the dang time. I have to deal with it when I have to go to work, I deal with it when I have to interact with so many different people in one day, and I mean heck, I deal with it when I have to record and edit these videos. And I enjoy doing this! Whether it's something new that you want to try out, or something that you enjoy on the regular, there is always this possibility for anxiety to just appear. Now, naturally, if you're watching this video, you probably want some advice on how to overcome anxiety. Before we get to that though, we need to understand how anxiety works in our body. On the most basic level, anxiety is the body's normal response to stress. A fight or flight mode, if you will, that is triggered when you feel threatened, under pressure, or facing a challenging situation. Once this happens, your sympathetic nervous system, which is in charge of the fight or flight response, kicks in and releases stress hormones into the body, such as adrenaline and cortisol. This in turn can cause involuntary actions, like a racing heart, headache, sweating, breathing faster, butterflies in your stomach, feeling faint or sick, or needing to use the toilet more often. All of this can sound pretty bad, but keep this in mind. Anxiety is not always a bad thing. At times, the increased stress level can help with staying alert and focused, as well as spurring you into action. The point where anxiety does become a problem is when it prevents you from doing what you need to do, you feel the stress for an abnormally long amount of time, and it becomes too overwhelming. Leaving this unchecked can lead to serious long-term problems later on down the road. Now to get to the big question, how do we overcome anxiety? Back to you, good buddy. Thank you. Right out the gate, I do want to point out that there is no quote-unquote cure for anxiety because, as previously mentioned, it's part of our body's functions. We can't change that. At least, not the last time I checked. It is true that autistic people in general may experience anxiety more intensely than a neurotypical due to the nature of us processing emotions differently, but it doesn't change the fact that it's part of who we are. It's part of what we have to live with. The trick is to how to overcome anxiety when the moment arises. There are many solutions that you can try out depending on your situation, but right now, I just want you to focus on 3 basic steps. For starters, you want to acknowledge that you are indeed stressed and that something isn't right. Is this a small step? No, not by any means. It is very important to acknowledge that you are feeling anxiety and that something is wrong, instead of just pretending everything's okay when the truth is it's not. All that's going to do is just bottle up all your frustrations and emotions and make you feel worse throughout the day as time goes on. Once you do acknowledge that there is in fact a problem, you can then move on to the next step, which is to stop whatever it is you are doing. Allow yourself time and space to just relax. There had been a handful of situations at my workplace that had been rather problematic, to put it nicely. And those situations had easily caused anxiety in me. My muscles got all tensed up, I had gotten these big headaches, I couldn't think straight, it was all sorts of bad. I could have chosen to continue working under these conditions, but I knew all too well that if I kept doing so, I would have run the risk of A, taking out my anger on someone who didn't deserve it, B, making a mistake that could have ultimately cost me my job, or C, both. So, rather than taking those risks, I chose to give myself a little break. Have someone else take over my station so I could head over to the break room and just unwind. After you've taken care of the first 2 steps, then you can move on to the third and final step. Take actions to reduce the anxiety. And mind you, this doesn't have to involve a complicated process or anything that requires a formula. No, not at all. It could be something as simple as listening to relaxing music or doing a little bit of meditation. Some of the things I do to reduce anxiety include watching funny videos to take my mind off the stress, get me in a brighter mood, maybe just take a nap, just sleep the anxiety off, or even do exercises to release the stress and energy in a positive and non-destructive way. You may also try to talk to someone about what it is you're going through. Share your frustration with someone who will listen to, at the very least, again, release the frustration in a non-destructive way. Will these conversations always guarantee a solution? Not always, but there is more to gain than just a solution. You can just let someone know what it is you're experiencing and feel that you are not alone. There are people around you that are ready and willing to help if you let them. These are some basic solutions to reduce anxiety that I use in my day-to-day routine, and they usually work out for me just fine. So give it a go. Let me know what you think. But of course, if you think the anxiety is a little bit worse, maybe it's like an anxiety disorder, or maybe you feel like these solutions are not working, by all means, talk to a medical professional about it. See what they can do for you. And that should do it. That should cover the basics of how anxiety works and some tips on how to overcome it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want to share your experience with anxiety or share some solutions that worked for you, tell us about it in the comments section below. Also, if you want to talk more about this subject, come back later tonight where we will have a live stream and we can go even deeper into this topic if you want. With that, it's time to end the video. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. If you enjoy what you see, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, all that good stuff that makes the channel grow. And until the next video or live stream, see you later.